it's very much incumbent upon these business owners, both foreign and indigenous Ugandans, for that matter, to make sure that, number one, you're paying people a fair wage. If your business is that good, if your business is that profitable, pay the people what they deserve to be paid, and you'll just see your business grow.
Yes.
The people whose businesses fail are the ones who insist on making sure that they pay the people as low as they possibly can get away with.
Just dusty.
Right? It doesn't matter how brilliant your business idea is. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at investing in this beautiful establishment that you want to call your whatever. The minute that you make that strategic decision that I'm going to pay my employees less than what they should be valued at, you're writing your business off for failure.
Race discrimination still happens in this day and age. Hi guys, welcome to Kenganda. My name is Janita Mai and this is the REPAT podcast. I'll let my brother in Christ introduce himself.
Hey guys, my name is Outer Brand. Yeah, from UG, content creator. Yeah, nice to have you.
Lovely to have you here.
Friend zone.
But not brother in Christ.
Friend zone.
Master Gabs here. I'm happy to be here, guys. I'm just happy to be here.
O'Shea Duke Jackson, Sacramento, California, African American.
Okay, well, I'm happy everyone is here. So I was on the African Superstar Black community tab and I saw this. So this post says, spotted on Spindex Road, Accra, Ghana. It's an advert. Is it it's like a job posting?
Yeah.
So they're basically saying we are hiring showroom manager, key requirements, they state them. And then at the end of that job posting, they say the applicant should be an European, Indian, or Lebanese. So this job posting is very specific. So you must either be an European, an Indian, or Lebanese in an African country for you to go and apply for that particular job.
It's in Ghana?
Yep. On Spintex Road. Accra, Ghana. Yeah, guys, what do you think about someone putting up a job posting and then saying, oh, by the way, you have to be a foreigner for you to apply for this job? What do you think?
So some may look at it as an employment opportunity for the foreigners who are there and maybe have failed to get jobs.
Really?
Anyway, but first of all, it looks awkward because why would you, maybe, okay, I would look at it in this case. What type of job is that, first of all?
It's a showroom manager.
Maybe that person there would have thought, look, as Africans may not be so experienced for that specific job. So maybe that person, as per their experience, maybe they have dealt with those guys, the Lebanese and what, and he or she finds them suitable for the what? Yeah, for that job. But all in all, of course, it's going to look awkward because first of all, you're in an African country and would expect you to employ from within because I believe there are people who are also experienced and they can do that very type of what? That very type of job. So when you start looking for these other guys, these outsiders, it puts these Africans who are already there at. And I know the unemployment rate in that country, they are not also doing fine. So they should have employed from within because I believe there are people who are also qualified and they can do that exact work. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay. Gabs.
So I'm going to be devil's advocate for a minute here.
Okay.
Because I've actually sat on the other side of this equation once upon a time in my life where I was looking to hire people in a customer service related role. In my case, it happened to be in the bar and restaurant industry, but I think for the most part, the mentality remains the same. And that is Africans do not care about customer service. And when you think about the manager When you think about a floor supervisor or a floor manager, a showroom supervisor, that's the person who's most immediately in charge of curating the customer's experience within that business. I don't know whether it's a clothing store or a car dealership or furniture shop or what have you. At a certain point, the owner of that business is going to be biased toward having that employee who leads them to having the most profitable business possible. And good customer service leads to a profitable business.
Yeah.
Whether I happen to appear blatantly prejudiced or biased in my job advert is probably secondary to me right now. What I'm focused on is making sure that I have the right individual with the right background and thinking about people from those backgrounds, from those nationalities. They're known for coming from a culture where customer service is premier.
Yeah.
Customer service is taken very seriously. So I can see the thinking behind why that would be important for the person who's putting the advertisement out there for the job. However, it can't be ignored. It can't be ignored that somebody's going to take offense to it.
Right.
And it's not the right thing to do to publicly state it, that my preference, my bias is blatantly for these nationalities, and therefore, if you're not that, don't even bother to apply. Like, at least keep that tucked in your back pocket, right? Keep that preference tucked away somewhere where it doesn't inflame the sensitivities of all of the masses of unemployed people out there who are trying to find jobs and who could consider themselves decent and viable candidates for that job.
Yeah.
So I think there's a right and wrong way of going about it. You as the business owner are well within your rights to hire that individual who you seem to think is best suited to help your business thrive and succeed. But when you're placing advertisements in a public forum, you cannot post something of that nature. It's just not right.
On a billboard at that.
Yeah, it's not right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is why Agaba gets paid the big bucks here at Kinganda. But me as a person who's here, known at like as an investor and dealing with what you consider the local economy, you understand, because coming from America, when we talk about a person who's educated, and when we move here, we're thinking, oh, okay, well, in our country, this person is educated, so then that means that person has some level, because, you know, like my last semester of undergrad, I had immunology at 6 a.m. in the morning. Like, it started at 7 a.m. actually. So you needed that class to graduate, and if you were late, you just couldn't graduate. So being an undergrad, you know, it teaches you like you have to be on time to do X, Y, and Z. So when you're thinking about your American mind, where you're in Uganda, you're thinking that, okay, well, it must be the same situation here.
Yeah.
And I've never attended university in Uganda, so I don't know. But what I can gather is that the level of education, at least in America, if you're going to a different industry, that person can learn it fast. Whereas in Uganda, I've seen the person typically struggles with, getting into a position that they can be developed. So now a person that's a showroom manager, like Agaba said, and he's more, I'm not in the public, I'm a content creator, right? But those are the skills that you need to have. And we're not saying that Ghanaians don't have that skill, but I know like in Uganda will tell you they can't do the job. You find out that they can't do the job. They give you a good interview. You find out that they can't do the job. So this particular person is saying, look, I don't even want you Africans to apply, period. In other words, you're wasting my time.
Yeah.
You may have the capability of doing the job at some point, which is what I find. Here, people take longer to adapt to the system. They can do the job, but at some point, which is the reasons why you got in Kampala, who are most of your managers? If they're Africans, they're Kenyans. That's for sure.
True.
You don't see many Uganda managers of restaurants or showrooms. If they're Africans, they're definitely Kenyans. And these are Ugandans who own these businesses. And I wouldn't be surprised if that person that owns that business is a Ghanaian. See, we're not looking at that. That could have been a black person owning that business. We think it's somebody, it could probably be a Ghanaian saying that. That's why I can get away with it, right? So you don't know. But we used to cover farms all over Uganda.
Yeah.
We've been to several Ugandan farms that Ugandans own that Kenyans ran. Ugandans will tell you right away, you want somebody to come run your business? Don't hire a Ugandan. Go get a Kenyan.
Yeah.
Is that true?
It is true.
It's very true. Is it true?
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we believe that Kenyans in their system, they're more competent and more professional and ready for the job market. This is the same case with Indians here. There are not many Lebanese here. But another things too is that you these people that, let's say if they're not foreign, or if let's say if they're Indian owning the business, they think that that these people, Ugandans, number one, they won't give the good experience and that they're going to steal. So you're going to steal. So not only can you do the job, but you might steal. Is it inflammatory, as Gab said? Yes. The question is, for those who are mad, why didn't your people put the business there? We always going to get back to the black part. Why didn't you put it there? Because if it was a showroom and the foreigners own it, and we're talking about the year of return to Diaspora, then the question is simple. Why didn't you put it there? So you didn't put it there. And you didn't clean your people up. Yeah. Now you mad that somebody who we don't know who the person is, so you didn't put it there. Such that it doesn't exist. Whenever foreigners come into the black community, this happens, and you lived in America, Indian-owned gas stations, Asian, Arab-owned corner stores, they sell you pork rinds, you won't, but they won't eat it. What do Negroes say? Why are these Arab corner stores here? I'll tell you why. You didn't put your stuff there. That's what it is. So whenever we talk about blacks and discrimination, stop being mad at what people, you allow them to do that. So therefore they do what you allow them to.
Yeah.
See, because they paying taxes to the government. The government know they there. They didn't make them take it down. The billboard person knew they was there. They didn't make them take them down. So who you mad at? Why is it there and why didn't your people put it there? See, now here's one before I let it go. The blacks I gotta hold the mirror to y'all face. You have not because you didn't put it there. Put it there. You gotta clean up your people and educate them to the fact where they can be the showroom people. That's one thing I like about Jews. I love it about the Indian community here in Uganda, wherever. Hey, there are people that hit the standard. We're gonna make it the standard or else. We want to own our stuff such that if you can't get there, we're gonna punish you. Black people don't run to that responsibility like that. We don't. We don't want to, even in America, a lot of blacks, we do our best. If we're not going to come together and fuck or go drink some drinks and party, we can do that all day in church. We're not going to run to the responsibility of cleaning up our people. We don't want it. We would rather stay away from each other because we know we can't do business together. So therefore, you don't have anything. But you got to run to that responsibility as blacks. It's something the black world don't want to do. You have no responsibility for what your people should become. So you don't put it there. And then when you don't put it there, you get mad at the other folks who put it there. Well, nigga, they don't owe you nothing. What you expect? That's why you don't see me mad at them. I'm mad at the people who didn't produce it because you got all the money in the world. I'm going to say this. There were some parties in Kampala during Christmas last year where I saw Negroes. This is crazy. Negroes was one party, I think, Sheila Schumann threw, right? Mm-hmm. It was ballers buy a bottle. The biggest bottle was 5 million shillings, something like that table, right? This is right before Christmas. That party sold out in like 2 days. It was a bunch of parties. Zari had a white party. So you can't tell me the money ain't there. In drinking alcohol, then the money is there. But now we talk about investing into your community, because if you don't invest in your people, what are they going to become? See, you got to create the showroom managers. You got to create the doctors. You got to create everything in your community you want to see. If you don't put it there, you won't get nothing.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
Okay. Osha, I actually do agree with what you're saying. People have to hold the mirror to themselves. But there's a rich man in Uganda. He owns a big hotel. I won't say who.
Yeah.
And he had a podcast. And he was saying, if you want to make it in the hotel industry, you have to bring in experts. Like, you literally have to fly them in for them to run your business. So he was saying that most Ugandans are not qualified to run certain things.
Yes.
If you give it to them, then they're going to run them to the ground, or they're not going to put it at the standard which you would want them to be.
Yes.
And that's a rich man who supports this country heavily.
Yes.
So if he says that, then it let it tell you something about how the country is and how it's running. I can't speak for Ghana because, I'm not Ghanaian. No one is. But I'll just speak for Uganda. And I'll say that there's some places that are also very specific and they need foreigners to run them. When you look around most establishments and see the establishments that have good service, what do they have in common?
Yeah, but look, I want to push back on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because listen, Uganda at one point was doing better than Singapore. It was on the same developmental path as Japan. Singapore had to bring in foreigners to a certain extent, but they had a great leader. The leader said, and Singapore has no natural resources. Listen, we need you to come in, and that's where governments come in. You need you to come in, train our people, but they need to get the fuck up out of here. This is because we need our people to develop. And that's called leadership. Now, at what point are you responsible? Because I could have said the same thing for the small company that we have.
Yeah.
And we did have Satasi coming from Kenya.
Yeah.
But we struggled until we can get it right. That's why you have consultations.
Yeah.
That you have to develop what you got to see. Again, a lot of these people will create these business systems, so what happens if the foreigner wants to leave? Then what? Then you have people that can do the same thing, but you're not investing in that.
Yeah.
The black world don't believe in investing in the black talent that such that the black world can produce anything. That's a bad excuse. I don't care what it is. Long term, how long do you think these people want to be here?
Yeah.
Don't they got family somewhere else? They want to be in Uganda all day? No, they're going to want to go back. So I disagree with that.
Okay. Wait, before I was still
Go ahead.
saying something and then
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I got turned up.
But let me just
go
complete what I was saying and then Gabs can tell us. Just in reference to that job posting and whatnot, I don't think it's right. Like Gab said, I don't think it's something you need to put out there and say, oh, the person must be from this country or that country. Like I need a foreigner for them to be able to run my company or to run whatever it is that I have going on. Because at the end of the day, there are talented people in this country. There's so much untapped potential in this country. There's so many people out there willing to go above and beyond to produce at the level you want them to produce. It's just that I feel like they're not in those spaces where they can be able to be elevated or get trainings and whatnot. Haven't you ever met a border guy and you're like, you shouldn't be on a border?
Absolutely.
Like you're so talented, you should be somewhere, you should be running a business or doing something else, because there are people like him who are so talented, but they do not have the opportunities for them to be great. Now this one, posting about how he only wants a foreigner is an obstacle to someone like the border guy who has a lot of potential and a lot of skill to do something, but even he can't get the opportunity to do that because this one already says, oh, you know what, you're not a foreigner. Your people have already messed up. Your people are thieves. Your people are lazy. So I just don't want you even. But yeah, Gabs.
A few weeks back, we had a conversation around people not wanting to invest properly in local talent. Right? We had that conversation in the context of foreigners, expatriates coming to Africa and then establishing businesses within their own small mini communities.
Yes.
Investing, spending money with each other, only doing business dealings with each other.
Yes.
And one of the points that we raised in that conversation was that a lot of the time, people don't look at local talent as worth being paid a fair wage. And I think a lot of that is what contributes to this phenomenon that we see when it comes to customer-facing roles, customer service-related roles. The vast majority of customer service roles, whether it be a cashier or a waiter, waitress, bartender, front desk attendant, you name it, these are not roles that are paid substantial sums of money.
That's true.
These are not roles that are paid decent salaries. And therefore, if I'm going to challenge myself to learn and uplift and gain that level of awareness and adopt that mentality that will allow me to be among the best in that field, where's the monetary reward? Because I'm doing all of this just to get paid peanuts. Right. Man, let me stay where the hell I am. Let me remain a border guy. Let me remain in my humble position and not extend myself into this space where I feel like I'm doing more work than what I'm being compensated for at a particular point. So it's very much incumbent upon these business owners, both foreign and indigenous Ugandans, for that matter, to make sure that, number one, you're paying people a fair wage. If your business is that good, if your business is that profitable, Pay the people what they deserve to be paid, and you'll just see your business grow.
Yes.
The people whose businesses
great
fail are the ones who insist on making sure that they pay the people as low as they possibly can get away with.
Just dusty.
Right? It doesn't matter how brilliant your business idea is. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at investing in this beautiful establishment that you want to call your whatever. The minute that you make that strategic decision that I'm going to pay my employees less than what they should be valued at, you're writing your business off for failure. I truly believe that. And a lot of the expatriate managers that people are interested in hiring are also people who are looking to come over at a very competitive and kind of say almost like below minimum wage kind of status. Because I think I might be aware of the hotel owner that you were referring to earlier.
Oh, really?
Right? I'm not going to say any names either.
Let's not.
But I happen to know that a lot of management staff at a certain major hotel group here in Uganda are from Nepal. They bring these staff in because Nepal is world renowned for their hospitality training. Nepal is world renowned for people who have a very stern and disciplined attitude when it comes to customer service and customer service delivery. And that level of training is what makes them employable across Africa. So what this business mogul does is bring in as many of those people as possible, house them in communal housing, and say, okay, today you're going to work at this hotel over here. Tomorrow you're going to work at that restaurant over there. And they basically have this army of, I'm not going to say indentured servants, but they have an army of meagerly paid but highly qualified individuals because according to where they're coming from,
They are the best.
they're the best. And it's still an upgrade over what circumstances were available to them in their home country. So in summary, all of this just really comes back down to, what is your objective as a business owner? Are you one of those people who just wants to make a profit and damn the people who you impact along the way? Because if that's the case, then you're going to be very happy and eager to just employ anybody as long as it benefits your bottom line. But if you are an O'Shea Duke Jackson, and if you are, one of those people who seeks to develop and invest in and make sure that when you leave behind your legacy is celebrated because I've helped somebody feed their family and therefore they're able to now carry this blessing on for years to come. It all depends on what your objective is, but there's too many people out here. It's a cutthroat business world. So I'm not surprised by any of it. It's not going to change. It's not going to stop. So if you're out here just making noise about it, do something to change it.
Let me just say this before you go there. To the opposite and back to Brian. You made a great point about there's no incentive to even be to get into those industries, hospitality and service. And there's also, usually if you want to stay in an industry, you want an industry that's upperly mobile, that you can go. So if I can start off, let's say, even that's why everybody wants to do tech. Tech, I can start off in help desk, but then tech has so much flexibility in every sector. But now if I'm coming into the customer service role and I'm seeing that there is what is the manager getting? Because I used to gauge myself like, how much did I want to be? If I wanted to stay in a career, what's the manager getting? What is he getting? Okay, he's not getting that. Like, okay, well then let me go to medical school where I can write my own ticket. What's the point in staying here? But if I know the guy from Nepal, if he's only getting like $500 a month, I'm not going to stay there because that's not conducive to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if there's also no upward mobility in an industry, people are not going to want to help develop that industry. Because one thing, like you just mentioned about being in a business, if people that work with you or partner with you or employed by you love you or love the business, one thing's going to happen for sure. They're going to create systems that solve problems. Like me, I don't have anything to do with administration in Kinganda, but it works because we have the people that are incentivized to do it. But such that if you are not, it doesn't develop. And I think that's why these business owners, and I know a lot of them, man, like there's some bars. I went to a bar the other day, the same bar you went to on Friday, but I was there on Saturday. I heard that place can make like $300,000 or $400,000 a month. It's not uncommon. That's a lot of money. In America, it's a lot of money. But if you don't have anybody incentivized to keep that going, then how can you get a competitive advantage over the next bar?
So my problem with this preference is it goes beyond even the working sector, because the more it's there, it seeps my African tongue. It sips itself into society in the sense that there's places I can't go to as a black person because it is considered a white environment. Whereas there's clubs as a musician I can't perform because the crowd they want there are white people. And you find so it stops everyone from growing to the point that right now, majority of people in Kenya who are the youth are really unemployed because of such scenarios. So, and then the government is gonna come and start complaining, there's a rise in crime. So such things, it just doesn't affect one area. You find like it's a cancer that keeps growing, and it affects like different parts. So you find like the rate of crime is going up, unemployment is going up, because everybody wants to make money, everybody wants to be somewhere in life. So, and most people are willing to do anything to get to where they want to get to. So I feel like this preference is something as Africans we should really fight against, because like it's not like we don't have engineers who can build our roads. It's not like we don't have doctors who can work in these big hospitals. We do, but it's just that preference where we were taught that the Mzungu does it better than anybody else. So yeah, we should just stop.
What if it was this same advert, for example, if it was in another country? How would people react to it if the person maybe the Lebanese said he's in Lebanon, but he says he wants African specifically.
They'll tell that that billboard would be down and that guy would be dead. I think so.
You know what I think?
They will find that guy and kill him.
I think they'll think, he just needs cheap labor. So that's why he's putting he needs Africans only. Unfortunately, that's what I think they're thinking.
I think that the Lebanese man who is not in fear of his life would even think about doing something like that. You have Lebanese people unemployed and you want to hire blacks? No. They're not having that shit. That's for me.
So that's where the confusion, because I'm wondering. Why is it that if it's the other way around, it's different from this? You get from this scenario.
Because black people can be racist.
No.
Sorry,
so
that was a cliche.
No, he's talking about something that needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
In Africa, we love a benevolent oppressor.
I believe Africans are so.
We love a benevolent oppressor, and what I mean by that is to say, as long as you're benefiting us in one way, we're going to let a lot of shit slide.
Yeah, that's very true.
We're going to let a lot of stuff slide.
Exactly.
You know? Let me give you an example. Let me tell you a story about a place that existed in Kampala. Maybe 10 years ago, it was at its peak. And then because of some racist tendencies by their ownership, they came crumbling down. But at a certain point, there was a bar called Mishmash. In Kampala. Do you remember a place called Mishmash?
No, I wasn't born.
Okay. Yes, you and your bro over here. You're still in your primary days. So once upon a time, there was a bar called Mishmash. It was an art gallery / event space / bar right there on Acacia Avenue. And it was owned by, I think, some Australians or American whites or something like that. And they had a very racist way of running their business. I'm talking about they were very flagrant and blatant in mistreating their workers in terms of verbal abuse. It's not like they were beating them up or anything like that, but they talked to them extremely abusively. And then the other thing that they did very openly was that they discriminated against local Ugandan guests and consumers who wanted to come into their bar. If you didn't fit a certain profile, if you didn't look a certain way, if your nationality wasn't what they liked, they would let you know that, you're not welcome here. Your money's not welcome here, and everything that you stand for, whatever. We're not here for you, right? And this guy would go on social media. This guy would go on Facebook. He would talk shit in the comments that people were leaving under his bar's social media profile. He was basically telling people, and what? You're still spending your money in my bar.
Whoa!
I'm still making money out here. So I dare you to try and do something about it.
Are you serious?
Yes. This guy would basically go on Facebook and face off with people in his comments talking about. So one young lady went online and she posted something about how she had a rough experience at the bar. And then that guy basically clapped back at her, was talking about, yeah, you and your loudmouth friends, I remember you once upon a time, you guys came through and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I say all that to say this. Mm-hmm. Again, we Africans love a benevolent oppressor, okay? If this person wasn't spending money in Uganda, paying rent in Uganda, paying taxes in Uganda, whatever, right? If they were just looked at as a regular, everyday person who was out here causing trouble, they wouldn't be getting away with half of the stuff that they did. But they had Ugandan employees. Much as they were paying them like trash, they had Ugandan employees. They were paying taxes, they were paying rent, and they were doing all of this stuff. At a certain point, you have to draw the line and have zero tolerance for this type of bullshit.
That's
Exactly.
true.
And where is that line going to be drawn? Is that line going to be drawn after somebody posts an ad on a billboard that says we're looking for, Indians and Lebanese and European employees only? Native Ghanaians need not apply. Is that the trigger point at which people are going to,
right,
shut that down, shut that attitude down? Or does it take something even more? So we as the people who find ourselves in the majority here in Uganda, right? When are we going to stand firm and say there's not going to be a single business able to operate in this country unless they operate on a certain baseline of ethics and moral standing?
Right.
There's too many of them out there who are just being let free to do what they want to do. So where's the accountability from the people? Where's the accountability from the individuals out there whose spending power is still keeping them afloat, still keeping them going, still keeping them confident that even though I'm doing something that offends the majority, as long as the minority continue to support me in a way that benefits me financially, I'm going to keep doing what I want to do.
Can I just say something real quick? As the Black diaspora, most of us who are, I would say, we have a few people coming to Uganda. But let's say if you're going to Ghana and this is your first time coming to Ghana and, you're tired of what's going on in the States and you're looking at a new place to resettle. You've been hearing all these good things about Ghana. Come back home and you return, get in touch with a new community, and boom, you see this. Like, just think about it, as an African American, for you see something like this in Uganda or Ghana, and then this is the first thing that goes to your mind. Oh, these people are not serious. Like, I could have stayed in the States for this. If this is what, like, obviously I'm not, if these people, because the way we look at blacks as African Americans, if you don't care about your own people, then there's no way you're going to care about me. Because I'm just as black as these Ugandans or Ghanaians. So if this is what your people are going to go through, then, let me not think that because I have a U.S. passport, y'all going to treat me like, if y'all don't care about your own people, then it's evident that I don't have that much more of a shot. And I have learned that. I mean, being an American in Uganda, it helps you a lot. But you get the gist that, okay, if you don't care about your own people, then I know that you're not going to care about it. That mentality is the same thing as the roads, the infrastructure, the investment sector, where the economy is going to go. So all of these things you start to connect in a systemic way. It's like a physiology here, or actually not even a physiology, because that means things are working right. It's a pathology, really. So I can start to really connect these dots. That okay, that thinking is why that road and those gutters are there, and why that 1,250 kilograms of trash is building every day in Kampala or in Ghana, wherever. I can start to see why that happens. Look at them, and you don't care. So if you don't care about this, then what else do you care about? You don't care about anything. Okay, then let me not deal here. Let me go to Thailand where they care. Because at least if they care about people, they ain't got to care about me. But if they care about the infrastructure, I'm going to benefit. I will have nice internet. I will have nice roads. I will have nice things. So then why do I need to come here and deal with you when you don't give a fuck? Obviously you don't. So I'm wasting my time here. And so African countries have to understand that when you're asking people to come back and they see this, you're not thinking things through. Yeah. Because anybody with sense would see that, and most people are gonna have that doubt, and then they're gonna start seeing things that give them that, confirmation bias. You see it again. Okay. Again. Okay. So these niggas not serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of these, I can say it, are not serious. But yeah, I think in the end, it comes down to the government. I know people like say, oh, you can't blame the government for everything and we are the government. But it does go down to the government. When you look at, when you look at members of parliament, you know, when you look at their establishments, because, you know, some of them are open about what they own and what they do. And you see the people they put in charge of those establishments. That should tell you what they think of their own people. Do you think they're out there fighting for your rights and when they're having their debates and their speeches and whatnot? No, they're not doing anything for the Omutua Wansi, like we call it here. But yeah, I think at the end of the day,
what does that mean?
Like an everyday person,
A common man.
a common man.
You want to be an MP?
Stop. I'd fight for you guys.
Yeah. Right.
Just
The most corrupt PMP ever.
But what I'm trying to say is that the systems are not in place. The systems in place do not favor the common man. Because the episode we did where we're talking about the education system in Uganda, where people are not being trained to have the skills to go out there and, you know, get jobs and be good at their jobs. I feel like if we can get to the root of that and then first do something about that, then this issue wouldn't even be happening.
True.
You know? But yeah.
True story.
Well, I was listening today, I came to learn. Yeah. But I would say, because I've worked in certain places where we had to work with, you know, foreign managers and all that. And usually they don't respect you subdominance. Or sometimes you could even have a position that's bigger than theirs, but they still don't respect you because their question is, why would they bring us here if you people are good? Yeah. So to them, it's like they can get away with most of the things, but also it's I don't know if entrepreneurs see this, but it's, for me, I feel like it's kind of affects the economy because, well, you employ someone like that, they might spend money here and there, but most of the money is taken back to their countries. And then again, you're giving way for more of them to come into the country because they'll come and learn the systems and everything, and then they'll build a community that is going to compete with your business because now they know they can do it better. So they feel like if they can have a community that's theirs, they're even going to do it more better than they're working in your business. So for me, but like Jonta said, if the systems are not in place,
Great point.
Yeah.
and then if we don't have accountability right from us as the individuals before we even look at the local government level, you know, systems to the topest, nothing is going to change. And then if we don't talk about these things, if we don't stand up for some of these, like the treatments and all that, then it will just keep on going and going. So we need to have these accountability questions. We need to build a future we need to have accountability as Black people. I feel like we are our own enemies, you know. We need to do better.
I feel like that's the perfect way to end the episode. But guys, what are your last remarks on this particular topic?
First of all, Africans, we need to first get serious. Because I think we have slept on job for so long. We need to get serious. We need to develop our own capacities in all aspects. And we need to work on ourselves. Because once we are able to do that and able to develop ourselves, such stuff we shall not be tolerating it. Like the same way these guys can't tolerate us when we take our nonsense that side. we should also be able not to tolerate any nonsense as Africans. But we cannot reach that stage yet. We haven't yet developed the capacity, and we haven't come together as Africans. Yeah, we need to come together and get better at almost everything because we are lagging behind. Yeah, when we are good, when we put in the work, when we do what we're supposed to do, definitely won't be hearing such stories. It will be a thing of the past.
My whole thing is, it sounds cliche, but be the change that you want to see.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is, if you are a consumer who takes offense to businesses operating a certain way, don't spend your money there.
There you go.
If you're a business person who takes offense to other business people operating a certain way that seems to give them a advantage over you, figure out how to run your business better, smarter, more sustainably, and just do the right thing by your people, and it'll come back to you.
Okay, O'Shea.
Just quickly, as Black owners, I love what Earn Your Leisure is doing, EYL. Me and a guy was talking about that, and they're just creating a platform where you see a lot of successful Black entrepreneurs are coming together. You'd be surprised how many people will help you if you just get started. And we have a lot of help in the diaspora. We have people who know how to manage hotels. If they can't do it here, we got Nigerians who can help us. We have Ugandan Americans or Ugandans that can help us. We got Kenyans who can help us. We have people from Botswana who can help us. We have people from Ghana who can help us. We have Caribbeans who can help us. So we don't, and then if we don't have people who can help us, we have people that can consult us. That means their role is just to consult in the business, and they can go. And then we have to look forward to struggling as a community until we can get better at it. It takes 10,000 hours to do something. So that's if you work every day, it's 4 or 5 years. Let's pay the cost of what it takes for us to really be independent, not in theory as a country, but for us to do it. We can get training, we can get consulted, our people can help us. And then we had to think with a mind that we want to control this. And I will give a shout out to one group people in Africa, as Out of Brian says, they have that they're the number one in the African index, Nigerians. Nigerians want to run to the responsibility of owning and running all their shit as much as they possibly can. That's why Nigerians are where they are at, despite their infrastructural issues. So as Blacks, we have to run toward the responsibility of there's the problem. We're going to fix it, and ain't nobody else going to help us.
Sure.
So we're going to struggle until we go and fix this shit. So if we die trying to fix it, we're going to fix it. So once we have that mentality, of course, you're not going to be perfect. It's not going to be easy, and it's going to be hard, but we'll get better eventually at it. So once you get better, your people will become better. Even this podcast, I was talking about Brivian. I mention all the time. When Brivian started editing this podcast, it's not to throw shade at him. It sucked. It was terrible. But episode 80 is perfect. It's the best. But we have to run to that responsibility and let your guys swing the bat.
Yeah.
Let your people, let them make mistakes. See, as Blacks, when a Black person makes a mistake, we want to get rid of them. No, let them swing the bat. Eventually, if the guy wants to do it, he's going to get better. And then now he's an expert. Then he'll teach the next guy. But if we don't want to pay that cost, because it's gonna be some failure in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all.
We love you and we think about you on this podcast. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you follow Brian at Outer Brian, Gabs at Master Gabs, or don't message him or anything like that. And you can email us at teamkenganda@gmail.com. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Kenganda Nation. Follow Miss Kuhani Hani on the Pan African Dating Show or Street Kuhani on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time.